for a Tommy Turbo Masterclass. Tameless Tuesday is here. And the boys are hard as a rock. Don't be a weak-gutted dog. Leave that for Jamin Salmon. Get ready for the best SuperCoach show on the planet. It's so good, it's better than Lego. You're now listening to the SuperCoach Experience podcast. Here's your host, Brandon Savage.
Hello and welcome to the SuperCoach Experience podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Savage, the coach of the Jamin Salmons. We see Jamin Salmon is right there. He's my shrine for this year. I am joined by somebody who is absolutely firing at the moment, Ryan Hadley, the coach of 2GB. How are you, Ryan?
Good, Saz. Good to be here again. Another good week of SuperCoach and Rugby League ahead.
You have been doing quite well, haven't you?
I have. I had two kind of quiet weeks, then the last 2 weeks have been pretty elite for me, which is good. So, the bye week I did really well. I was ranked 55th for the round, which took me up to 130th or something, and then had another good week the week just gone.
What did you score on the weekend?
1,312, I believe, which got me up to 102nd overall, which I'm pretty chuffed about. I'm now the leading member of the SuperCoach Experience, overtaking you. Thank
Funny
you very
how
much.
you come on this week. You're available this week. You're not available every other week, but this week.
Busy, mate. Busy sorting out my SuperCoach, sitting on the couch and scrolling through and racking my mind for hours on end.
How do you feel?
I don't know whether I should get ahead of myself. Not get ahead of myself because, like, I'm pretty content with where I am and I'm quite happy about it. But I'm like, is there a chance that I can really give this a nudge? Like, am I dreaming here or not? Like, and then I look at how far ahead the top 3 or 4 are, and I'm like, oh shit,
The top 10 doesn't feel that far away though, does it?
Yeah, I mean, it happens pretty quickly. I saw that guy that was coming 300th or something, and he scored 1,500 this week, and all of a sudden he's like 30th or something. Like it can happen just like that. All we need is a couple of good weeks, and it changes really quickly. I went from the week that they stuffed up with the first bye round, where they stuffed up, I went from I was like 200th to 80th, and we were cheering for 10 minutes until they fixed it, and I was like, oh, and then after that was when I had my 2 down weeks.
So you haven't even been in the top 100 this year?
I was for about,
briefly for
about 25 minutes, until they fixed it all.
Well, that's pretty good.
I'm not getting my hopes up. This week, I think I learned from round 14. It would have been the round
14 and 15.
14 and 15. That this week coming up is probably not going to suit me very well. I've planned for all the buys. I don't have Origin players.
Yeah,
whereas all the head-to-head heavy guys are going to score really well and have a really big round. Whereas I don't think that'll be the case. I should still be steady, but I'm not expecting massive green arrows this week.
It's real funny. You see the David Fafitas, the Tinos named this weekend. You're like, shit, I feel so bad not having them because they're a week after Origin. They're not backing up. Their bodies aren't going to be sore. And it's a really tough watch on a week like this. I think this is the perfect week to get in someone like Cameron Munster and then hold to after the buys. And I guess we will chat about that. But it's been a while since you've been on the podcast. And I just wanted to say a quick congratulations, because if you have Ryan Hadley on Instagram, you'll see he's announced himself as a SuperCoacher, a serious one.
Yeah, real serious SuperCoacher. Between my SuperCoaching spare time, are we talking about the same thing here?
Well, I was trying to lead the listeners one way and then throw them with a curveball.
Yeah, as my cricketing background suggests, I slipped one through to the keeper, and I'm now an expectant father come September. So
yeah, that's it. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. When does SuperCoach wrap up? When's round 27?
September is finals.
Yeah, so we could have 2 wins potentially. Maybe
it was very similar
SuperCoach
for mine. Yeah. August 31st.
There you go.
I was in the hospital, and our last podcast leading into the last week was the week Timmy was on top, and he had it all but sealed. Okay. So I missed that last podcast, which sucked because I wanted to be there, but I was in the hospital.
That's good. Hopefully it wraps up before then, because I could not imagine my partner in labour while I'm trying to trade or see if someone's gone big or see if I need a loop or something. It
really depends how far along, how close you are. Because if you're 100th and it's the last week, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, congratulations,
Thank
Hads.
you, mate.
It's going to
Cheers.
be awesome. And then leading into the cricket season.
Yeah, I'll have my hands full.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I was going to have an interview here with like a podcaster profile interview here just before, but the guy cancelled very late. And I did want to say we are going to have you on, but I want to wait till the Shield season is over, till next year.
Right.
I want to.
Hopefully, my profile gets bigger.
No, I want to reflect on that because I feel like for the first 3-4 episodes we had, John, we just always asked about your life.
Yeah.
Feel like we'll wait.
Okay.
We'll wait for you.
I was going to say, I'm a bit offended, Faz.
We'll wait till cricket's over and you can finally relax with the baby. Get you on for a podcast.
Yeah, with my 8-month-old or whatever it'll be. At that stage.
Jesus. But yeah, ranks. I'm down to 199th.
But that's all right though.
Yeah,
you're still sitting pretty comfortably. I think compared to a lot of people, like you've saved trades these last couple of weeks or one or two. You seem to have a solid game plan and know what you're going to do. I like the explanation of your moves from like this week and the one last week that you sent in the chat.
Yeah,
you'll get to that. I'm sure.
I will. Yeah.
I think. Don't stress. Not that I'm the guru. I feel like I need to talk to you like I'm the guru now.
1175 on the weekend for myself, and I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy.
That's good.
I actually thought that, looking around the leagues, I was probably a bit under par. Didn't think I was that far under, but I'm pretty much exactly where I landed. I said to you guys I'd be happy if I didn't go lower than 200, and I landed just above that. So
yeah, well, I think I kind of expected myself to go up more, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
and
well, actually, so did I, to be honest.
A couple of guys that I know scored around, similar to you, around that kind of 1,200-ish mark, and they were still going down almost. Like, it was it was a funny old week.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that I managed to score 1,300 a week, that I saved 2 trades. I was happy to cop a loss there, to be honest, if I was going to, and it just worked out well.
A lot of people were in bad positions. July 22nd, SuperCoach Experience Drinks. We have some more guests lined up. Just head to our Facebook page and there's an event there now. So that's quite soon. I just like to mention that every episode because why not? Wrap up on what we're going to talk about on the show. So we're talking about hot topics, Origin players, buy players, non-buy Origin players, team lists, and then we're going to get captains and trades. The hot topics. What are our tactics this round, and what are our tactics moving forward? So it does really go team to team how you're going to tackle it. How are you going to tackle it?
It's a hard one. I think I touched on it before with the whole head-to-head guys already having their big Origin guys already in their side and having held them the whole time. And as a week for the overall players, it's going to be tough for us to move up the ranks, and we've got to really nail which Origin star we kind of get down. I think I'm at a stage, and I assume most people are at a stage where trades are at a bit of a premium. I don't really want to be wasting trades on guys that won't stay there till the end from now.
Yeah.
And the only guys that I don't have at the moment really, and that I know will stay to the end, are those guys playing Origin. Your Tinos, your Munsters, your Haas, your Cleary. Obviously he's not playing, but those sort of guys. So I think this is a week where I've got to take a punt, really, on which guy I think is going to do well for me, which guy's going to back up and actually play. And there's a couple that spring to mind with some of the news that's come out over the last couple of days.
How many do you have for round 19 at the moment?
Before my trades this week, I had 13. Assuming Origin sides stayed relatively similar.
So Horsburgh,
yeah. So
yeah.
If he drops out, or if Nico comes back in or something like that, that obviously goes down. But I'm sitting okay. So to be honest, this week I'm not so focused on 19 because I think either organically it's going to happen with the guys I'm looking to bring in this week, or I can make one trade later in the next couple of weeks that can sort that out. But yeah, what about you?
I have about 14 at the moment, and it really depends on the Origin. Like, it could go for the worst way. Damien Cook could get named, Horsburgh could get named, Nico Hines could get named. It could go up in arms for us, but at the moment I have about 14, and the two people I am trading in this week, I probably would have traded them in if they weren't playing 19 anyway, just because I feel like these are the kind of guys I want to get into my side. Not for the rest of the year, both of them, but there's reasoning behind that. I guess I'll touch on that later. But yeah, it's a weird one. Like maybe I do have one eye on the 19, and I just want to make sure that we have that one last big push before it becomes the end of the season and everyone's team kind of molds into the same thing.
I think that's what my last buy round where I went pretty large. I had like 15 or 16 players. So I think some of the scores that dropped out were like 45, 49, 50 or something like that. Which I know does make a big difference, but when they're dropping out, most people will be taking that every day of the week from their, kind of 12th, 13th player. It's
also a bit of a curse though, because I looked at that week and I thought to myself, I'm like, Jesus, I'm lucky that it was only top 13. This guy has planned well, and I've had shit players drop out. He still scored more than me, but like you don't use that 50 points in the end. So you've just got to choose the right players, and the tactic, what you had, strong players, allowed you to keep strong scores, and vice versa kind of works like that. But do you see a world where someone's set up, say they have 15, which I think it could be easily likely because
I've just had a look now. I've got 14 now. So
yeah, I think I've got like 14, 15.
That's not even trying.
Yeah. Well, Murdoch Masilla, I'm not even counting in my side. But say you got 15. Do you aim for a Dave Fafita or someone like that? It's a bit awkward for my opinion.
This week, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done not exactly that, but I'm going down that route. I'm set with my numbers pretty much. I'm bringing in an Origin guy that isn't playing 19. I think that's 100% a viable option if you've already got the numbers.
I think it's a bit of an awkward one because depth is going to be tested over the next 3 weeks. And these players, they're going to play one game in the next 3 weeks, assuming all of the Origin stars don't back up in round 20, which I feel like that is going to be the round where they don't back up. But that being said, it's a dead rubber. So we might be more likely seeing these guys back up because it's just not as the intensity might not be as much. Who are you getting in?
My guy at the moment is Payne Haas.
Right.
I know I mentioned in the chat the other day, and you weren't the biggest fan. You're not 100% convinced he's going to be one of those keepers at the end of the season in the front row. Hear me out for 2 seconds.
Yep.
The news coming out this today about Jordan Ricky and Tom Flegler could be both out long-term, potentially season-ending injuries. Suggests to me that Payne Haas is going to back up in round 20 and play decent minutes. All right, Kevy, you saw Kevy in the presser the other day after they lost. He was furious. He was that filthy. And I think he's just a competitive bastard and he wants to bloody win this thing. And I think they have the side that can do it. And Payne Haas has to be a crucial player in that side.
They do, especially if they get Ben Hunt, which is not looking likely now.
Also, you mentioned that the whole Origin thing. There's a chance, like if we've already lost a series, Haas, chances are he might not play big minutes. Like he might have reduced minutes in that Origin.
Yeah,
role.
like what would be the point of him playing big minutes in that game?
There's no point in him playing 65, 70 minutes like he probably should. So I'm on him. Your point to me was you don't see him anymore as that one of those elite guys.
No, I think you've got my words skewed there.
Go on.
I think I don't see him as the guy that you need to get in over the guys we already have. The Horsburgh, the Tarpanés. We both have Horsburgh, Tarpanay, Fanul, Blake. Do you have Tohu Harris?
I don't have Tarpanay.
You don't have Tarpanay. You got Tohu Harris, though.
Tohu either.
You don't have... Okay.
No.
Well, then in your position...
Yeah, so I needed a front row or a second row.
Yeah.
But here's my thing. This was all before... This Haas decision was all before Flegler was ruled out. That's kind of added to it. But then I was thinking on the way in the car, I was thinking, well, if Horse was playing Origin now, or there's a chat that Horse was going to play Origin, he then misses 19. Chances are reduced role in 20. Does then Joe Tarpanay become my man for those 2 weeks, especially with Papali'i out with the hamstring injury as well? So there's a chance that Tarpanay goes back to that. Whether he plays lock or front row, I don't really care.
Raiders have the bye in 20.
There you go. That saves my issue. But
you can't go to Tarpanay if that's the case.
That's what I'm saying. So that saves my problem. So Haas is still my man.
And you think he's going to back up?
I think so. He has to. Like, what's their pack this week? They've got a guy on an edge that I don't even... They've got Piakuro, who I'm sure you might get to later.
Yep.
They've got Palacia starting at the front row. And, what's their bench like? They got Corey Jensen, Kobe Hetherington, Marty Tapau going to start. Like, I think that's not a top 8 pack. If you take Carrigan and Haas out of that, and now with those two injured, Ricky and Flegler, I think Haas needs to play. And he's played 50 minutes or so when he has backed up the last couple of times, but he only needs 60. He only needs 60 minutes to score 70, 80 points. To be honest, I wanted Fafita.
Yeah.
I wanted Fafita.
You just couldn't afford him?
He's probably going to be a bit much. I wanted to bring in 2 guns this week just to try and stop that little drop down that I'm kind of expecting. But then it makes more sense that he'll probably lose a little bit more cash for Fafita. I needed a flexible guy in the front row, especially if Horse was going to get picked, because my 3rd and 4th front row is Lindsay Smith and Sean Kepi at the moment.
Fuck, how good's Lindsay Smith going?
Unbelievable. Mate, he's nearly 430k. Like, that's ridiculous. I was considering playing. I was messaging in the chat. I was at the Penrith game, and I was like, do I play Taruva or Lindsay Smith? Who would have thought at the start of the year I'd be tossing up a Penrith winger versus a bench guy?
Penrith bench guy.
Yeah.
Penrith bench guys historically don't do that well.
Well, no, they don't play many minutes because we've got all the other guys play so many minutes. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Timmy just there, just like thinking my thoughts out loud about my front row, second row decisions. I'm kind of scared off Tohu a little bit after last week. I don't know. I don't really know what's going on there.
A bit of an awkward one last week. They put on a lot of points, so
he
came off 67th minute, and I'll cop that from Tohu. If that's going to be his worst score at 56, I'll take that any day of the week for sure. I got him in last week, and I was quite disappointed because I was like, I didn't really need to do this week. But I think long term, it's a good decision, and Tohu's the kind of guy you can rely on. Yeah,
that's right. And then, sorry, just to touch on your theory, whatever you want to call it, that I misconstrued. Your ideal finishing kind of second row, front row makeup?
Ideal.
Your ideal one. Are you going AFB, Horsburgh, getting Tino in, Fafita obviously down in the second row, no Haas, no, like, you're keeping Tarpanay, like, what are you doing?
I think I've got Tohu in my second row.
Yeah.
I think maybe Tarpanay to Tino is going to be the play. I think Fanil Blake.
After 19?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe in 20.
Yeah.
I think Fanil Blake's an end of season guy at the moment.
I agree.
He's just doing. How good is he doing? And the Warriors. I just can't believe how good he is doing.
I didn't even realise they're one win off top of the table, I'm pretty sure.
And they haven't had all their buys yet.
Yeah.
So they've been, they've been
My
really
point
good.
is, so for this week, and probably this week alone, or until I get Fafita at least, I've got Horsburgh. I've dropped him down to my second row. I think there's too many kind of big ceiling guys in that position that I don't want to be taking up spots with the guys like I know Horsburgh can score. Like, if he scores a try, he can maybe turn up. But I don't want to be taking up those positions with your Tarpanays or your Horsburghs or your Harris's kind of thing.
It's real tough that we've spent all the trades up the front already to get these guys in. I don't want to be spending another 2 to get them out. And
I agree. That's why I've got to pick one. I've got to stick with it. Like, to be honest, I've made 3 trades in my front row all year.
Yeah.
So I started with Gerbo, Welsh, Kepi, and one more. That one
Murdoch
more.
Mozilla?
Yeah, it probably was actually. Then I got Lindsay Smith in, and then everything else was a straight trade to Fanil Blake when he was cheap, when I couldn't afford Tarpanay, which turned out wonderfully, and Horsburgh when he was cheap.
Yeah.
So I think I've lucked out. So I think I can afford to make one trade now.
You get Haas this week. It allows you to get Tino in a few weeks, maybe at second row or front row. Just depends. I
haven't decided what's like. I'm looking at it now. This is the problem, is that I'm going to be a little bit stuck, and I hate to dwell on my team for too long, but like, is Hopgood going to be a hold for the rest of the year? Is there going to come a stage where I need to sell him? Because at the moment, I don't really see how I'm going to get to Tino and Fafita.
Let's talk about Hopgood. Is he an end of season guy? I saw Grant in the chat the other day saying his plan is to go Hopgood to Fafita, and I just couldn't believe it. I know with RCG and Paulo coming back, the minutes will be more limited, but for now, I'm just holding put until that actually happens.
I think you've got to see the first sign of like a change.
And when that happens, I think you've got to jump.
That's when I'll start to think about it. I jumped the first time when Hopgood made all this money at the start, and then Maddo came back from his suspension or whatever it was. I jumped then, and then I was eating my words because it didn't turn out well at all. So I think that's when I'll start to think about it.
Yeah.
But I think he should be a keeper.
Yeah, I think so too.
Is he only getting better as well? Like that game of the weekend.
He's getting
ridiculous.
better. More attacking stats are coming in. Parramatta are warming up. Brendan Hands at hooker looks good. DJ Arnasi looks real good. We did talk about Fafita, but another ton on the weekend. I think without that 16, if he turned up that week and played 80 minutes, I don't think anyone would have sold him.
Absolutely not. And it's going to be so hard to buy him back. I know he's going to lose money again this week, but I don't see how. I just don't know. I really want him this week. I really do, but I just. And then what happens? Like, who's the coach in them at the moment? I'll mate bloody.
Oh, fuck, I wouldn't even know.
But like, is he gonna back him up? Like,
yeah.
I know they rested Tino this. Like this game on the weekend, like post Origin. Like, do they rest Fafita completely next one? I think
resting Fafita in the first game, and then he wasn't named to back up the week after, wasn't he? No, he wasn't because of the HIA. So that's why he didn't play the next week, and that's why a lot of people sold him.
Well, he played that game where he had 16, 30 minutes.
Yeah, he backed up, but he didn't play the week after. So he rests Fafita first, rest Tino second. I think they both get rested in 20.
Against Parramatta at Combank, do you think they just go, oh, well, we're going to lose anyway and just rest them both?
I don't know. I think the coach will have the best interests of the club and the players, maybe not so much the result because there's no pressure on him. So I don't know. It honestly really depends, and maybe they just play limited minutes in that round 20 game.
It is on the Sunday, to be fair. And then when they...
Well, then he probably backs up and they probably just don't train.
And then 21, they play the Saturday, so it's a decent enough turnaround.
Yeah, it's a real tricky one. Cameron Munster, he's the most traded in this week at 666,000 with a 56 break even. Plays Penrith this week.
Devil's number, stay away.
Stay away.
666.
Playing Penrith at Amy Park. Cameron Munster tends to step up for these games, though.
I think if I'm a little bit scared off for the fact that one, I already have Hughes, and two, they are playing Penrith. But I think if he's your man to finish the season, the price is probably right now, and I think he's more than capable of putting on a decent performance against Penrith at home, even though they haven't been that good. Now's the time to do it if you are going to do it, I think, and if you've got no other pressing issues like we spoke about before.
Yep. Guys, we are live on YouTube at the moment, so if you are watching in on YouTube, send in your questions and we'll answer them. It's the first time we've been live in a while, which is, well, we didn't know the capabilities were here, but they are, so we're going to utilize it. I've seen there are some comments about the sound. The sound isn't perfect.
Is this my fault? Is this I always get yelled at for not having the microphone too close?
Some people are saying the sound is great. Some people are saying turn the sound up.
I can get really
we can just make sure we're nice and close. But we've got some questions. 10 trades left. Should I go Schuster to Luke Metcalf at 5'8", break even at -5, then Schuster's about to lose a ton of cash? Sideways trade or worth it by Tom Usher?
If you've got 10 trades left at the moment, I don't know if I'd be wasting them on... Not wasting, that's a bit harsh of me, but I don't know if I'd be spending them on stuff like that. I'd like to think there are ways that you can get at least one gun in with that sort of system, if that makes sense.
If it means you're doing 2 trades to get one gun in, one... Because Schuster's a guy who can easily... Like, he's cheapy. He's a cheapy. You're not going to play him every week.
Yeah, and even if he does... So I was like, I've got to sell Schuster this week. But then I thought about it some more, and I was like, you know what, he's 400K. If he gets back down to 320, he'll have a game where he scores 80 and get back up towards where he is now, kind of thing. Yeah, he's going to start losing cash now, but I'd be looking away at this stage of the year. 10 trades left. You need to get your guns back eventually.
Yeah.
Assuming you haven't got the guys that we spoke about, your Origin guys.
Yeah, unless you do and you're head-to-head and you haven't really... I don't hate it, but like Metcalf is a guy you can kind of play on matchup.
Yeah.
Maybe not this week against Bunnies, but Tamari Martin's due back.
That's what I was going to say. He's not going to stick around. Really,
I think he will get the spot.
You think?
Tamari Martin.
No, that's what I'm saying. Metcalf, I don't think he's going to.
Nah, he won't stay. But he would have been a good purchase last week.
That's right. I agree. I hope that answers his question.
Yeah. Mitch on YouTube, thoughts on Drinkwater for Buller? I already have Gutho in the other spot looking to move up rankings. So Buller to Drinkwater. I'd probably hold.
Yeah, I think he's so expensive now.
890K. Actually, he was on our run sheet for later, so he was in our non-buy playing non-origin players, which is a very niche category. But 890K, not origin, not buys. I think, in my opinion, he's at his max price.
It has to be, doesn't he? He plays the Tigers this week, and that scares me. Like, not that I even considered owning him. Not once did I consider owning him. Mikey owns him, and at the time I was like, Drink, that's so like rogue. Like, what's doing? I swear, like just living in the past, hoping he can live up to some 3-game run that he had last year or something.
He's got 3 tons in a row.
I know. And
no, he scored 80 against Penrith.
95 against Penrith. Fuck. Yeah, so you might round it up. Round it up, he's got 5 tons in a row because he got 95 against the Tigers, 117, 104, 95, 140.
Jesus.
Which is absolutely absurd. And I don't know when Mikey got him. I think it might have been that the first Tigers game. So he's had him pretty much the whole time.
He had him prior to round 13.
There you go. So that was that Tigers game, round 12. That's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. I can't fathom bringing him in now.
I'll tell you what, though. With someone like Drinkwater, I'm not scared of not owning him. I think that's... And if you're not scared of not owning him, when you own him, the faith is not going to be there for him to score many points for you. Like, it's a massive Hail Mary that you're probably not going to... The boat's probably passed.
Yeah. And I've got a little... I'm sure you'll touch on it when you speak about... I'm sure we'll touch on it later, but I've got a bit of a fullback theory for you. The season's gone by, we're so obsessed with like our gun fullbacks, blah, blah, blah. And obviously, in hindsight, Drinkwater's turned out to be that in the last few weeks at least. And Gutho's done the same thing.
Yeah.
I said in the chat, I was like, there's no way Gutho goes 3 in a row. I can't captain him again. And then he did. He did it.
You looped him.
I did loop him. But I don't think you need to be like, it's almost like, I'm treating them almost like a front rower. I have no idea who my final 2 fullbacks are going to be. So I don't want to be going to wasting trades there. I understand if you've got Buller and you need to try and get rid of him because he's peaking and Brooks is out and Arpy's out. But can you honestly tell me who you are really confident that your final 2 fullbacks are going to be and who the best 2 options will be? Because I can't. So I'm just for now, I'm just running Asako or Garrick or whoever I've got in my centre wing.
I like it.
And I wouldn't be afraid of that because I think there's heaps of bang for buck in your centre wings over the last kind of 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And there's no shame in having them plugged down at your fullback. And I've got Gutho as well, which is fine and great. But yeah, I just don't see the whole obsession with 2 specialist fullbacks if they're not the best options out of the 2 positions when most people have Garrick and or Asako or something.
Is Gutho like
at the moment
with Turbo out? We're gonna wait. It could be Reece Walsh and Teddy.
It could be Reece Walsh, Teddy, Gutho, Latrell when he comes back and if he brains it. Like your guess is as good as mine. So like why try to guess now and potentially waste like 3 or 4 trades on it when everyone's got like if you've got. I think I'm in a bloody brilliant position. I've got 16 trades before this week. And I know a lot of people have less.
Yep.
So if you can be...
I have less.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're going to be affording to spend trades on your fullback, like by all means, go for it.
Well...
But...
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's why I said we'll get to it later. But that's my theory on the fullbacks anyway for now.
I like it. We will talk about that very shortly. But Val Holmes, 755K, 11 break even. He's a guy that he's backed up every game and absolutely killed it. Hasn't played the buys. He has played limited games. But if you held, it was probably a nice move.
Yeah, nice hold. I wouldn't say he's a buy at the moment.
Nah.
He's what did you say Drinkwater was? A non-origin, non-buy player.
Yeah.
Holmes is a non-buy origin player.
Non-buy origin player.
Yeah. I don't know if I said that right, but that one stings a little bit. And I've got this mantra of like guys I get rid of, don't worry about them, and if they score well, don't stress too much.
Yeah.
But he's one when I watch him do well, I'm like, you little bastard. The easiest run the first 3 rounds.
Yeah,
everything everything in Queensland, and you've waited till now to do it. But I suppose that's probably a reflection of Cowboys in general and their season in general.
It's ridiculous. I think 4 weeks ago they had a run of Penrith, Melbourne, and the Rabbitohs coming up, and everyone was just like, they're done. They're not going to make the top 8. There's no chance. They've got to win at least one of these games to at least be in touch with it. They won all 3.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Crazy.
I mean, against Penrith C team, but that's okay.
Well, They always seem to come up against the Penrith C team. It's crazy.
The Tigers do as well.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
All right, bye players. So round 19 is fast and upcoming. I want to talk about some bye players that, one, we want to keep in our side for the rest of the year, and two, which ones would you get in that you aren't looking at keeping in your side for the rest of the year? So the top of my list here, Britton Nikora, he's one of the most traded in players this week, 650K with an 87 break even. I think this is about the lowest price you're going to get him.
I agree. I think as far as those buy players go and guys I bought in the lead up to kind of this, he was probably at the top of the list for me. Plays every round from now till
forever.
Yeah, till the rest of the day. These next 4 weeks, potentially a really nice run. I think now's the time to jump on if you haven't already. Nice price. Sharks only, I want to say on their way up, but they aren't really, are they? They're just kind of hovering around that thing. But we know what they do to those lower, those sides that below them, and they've got 3 out of the 4 next games of that, and then the run home after the Penrith and Souths game is excellent.
I think they're a very good chance of hitting their straps. We've seen glimpses, but we haven't seen them put it all together. I think this week, they nearly put 50 on the Bulldogs last game, but
it doesn't count, does it?
There
really?
wasn't much backline play. It was just through the middle, shit defense.
Good for Nikora, though, I reckon.
Yeah, next on the list, though, Ronaldo Mulatalo. I think he's a bit underhyped at the moment. 617,000 with a 56 break even. No, sorry, with a 73 break even. I think he should be, honestly, the number 1 traded in player this week. I think with the draw that the Sharks have and Nico Hines absolutely firing, he's one of the main beneficiaries of it.
Yeah, I think the only problem for me, and spoiler alert, I'm getting him this week. And the only thing I worry about is that he's of the old Alex Johnson mould, where even with only 1 try, he's only scoring 65, 70
He's slightly
points.
better than Alex Johnson. He gets a lot more line breaks.
Yeah.
Just line breaks in general play.
Yeah. But no, I agree. 617. The other week, he was much more than that, I reckon, when I decided I wasn't going to bring him in.
He was 700K.
There you go. So I'm glad I waited. It's been a tough little watch. I went Gaglo over him and Meany, and that's paid. Obviously not because Gaglo's but that paid off for those couple of weeks anyway. I think Matt Moylan's having a good year. Talakai inside him was at one point one of the leading try assisters in the game. I now, though, have Hines, Nikora, Talakai, and Mulatalo, which worries me a little bit. But I think with their run, I shouldn't have to stress too much. Yeah,
well, I'm loading up on them absolute deluxe. Mulatalo's in my side, Hines is in my side, and the next on my list, 627,000, 133 break even. Will Kennedy at fullback. With their draw of St. George Tigers, Warriors are a different beast this year, so I wouldn't put them in the easy category.
I still look at them, though, and I go, if I see them in the lineup, and I'm like, I think they can have a game where they fall a piece or let some points in, or... but it is in New Zealand, this one coming up, so that...
Yeah, there you go.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that does worry me a little bit, but I know what you mean. But go on, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, so I'm getting in Will Kennedy for James Tedesco this week. I know we usually touch on trades later, but I bank just about 100K doing that. And it was always in my plan because I feel like Will Kennedy's had a few quiet weeks, and he's the kind of guy that just goes under the radar. When people are starting to look at him, he underwhelms, and then everyone's kind of written him off at the moment. 133 break even. I think he's going to hit it.
I'm worried for you.
Why?
I'm worried for you. I don't know. He's just a player that really
needs
would scare
a lot.
me.
But so do a lot of the fullbacks, to be honest. Drinkwater.
Walsh is the same. I feel like Walsh needs to do so many things in the game to have a big score. What does concern me is his lack of scores this year over 100. Does that concern you?
No.
And that that one game he scored 106, he had 51 points in tries.
3 tries, yes. Correct.
You just backing him?
Yeah. He's in the Sharks side, off the back line. I might be going too heavy on the Sharks, but
I don't think that's the problem. I don't think the Sharks
But
heaviness is the problem because you get them all scoring in different ways.
Yes, but looking over the next 3 weeks, this bye period, this is the last bit of the bye period. So if I load up on these guys playing St. George, who are in absolute shambles at PointsBet, I think that's a great matchup and they can all score well. The Tigers, they're decimated at the moment. And then they play the Warriors in round 20, which I don't know what's going to happen there, but hopefully we can get a point or two from from each of the players there. But I honestly think you can ride these players for 3 weeks, and especially Kennedy. Kennedy's not in my final side.
Yeah,
he's a 3-week play, maybe 4 weeks, just depending on
in a position trades wise where you think you can do that comfortably.
Yes.
That wasn't a very comfortable yes, was it?
No,
it's not quite Matt Duffy from the other year from you, but
no,
far from it. Actually,
I've already saved quite a few trades, and I think I have 13 before trades this week. So I make 2 this week. That gives me like 15 for the week. It allows me
15 for round 19.
Yeah, sorry. It allows me to have like 1 trade next week, maybe, just as a luxury, and then see where I go from there.
Yeah, no, you did always say that the last 7 rounds, whatever, you were aiming for 10 trades, and I suppose you're on track for that.
I am.
Which is a good thing.
Easily.
What's your plan post-Kennedy?
As you said, I don't know. I think I want to get Tedesco back in. I think, just depending on the draw.
For the 3rd time in the year.
Yeah. Fullback rule led is a legit strategy.
I think usually it is, 100%. I just think it's a little bit different this year.
You think so?
A little bit.
The fullbacks have been so up and down, though. Like, look at Gutho.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Look at Gutho. I think you've got to get on these players when their run is hot. If you just kept Walsh throughout the year, you'd probably be not looking that great
I agree.
at the moment.
Yeah, but I think it's also like, you say roulette, but I think it's always got to be like a steady kind of increase, whereas I feel like you're going like 1 up, 1 sideways, 1 down to Teddy, 1 across to Kennedy, hoping he goes up to Latrell. Or,
no,
I don't know.
But this is also a cash gen thing.
Okay.
So if I was doing a sideways trade, I wouldn't be all for it. But the fact that I bank 100K from doing so, Teddy has 140 break even, plays Manly this week, which I'm slightly worried about. But at 4 Pines Park, he doesn't average very well there. Averages about 50. I think I'm going to wait till after Origin to get Teddy back because he's going to have about 100K price drop. I don't know. That's just my plan, and it's what I feel. I think for a long time this was my plan anyway, just to jump on the Sharks' easy draw. But Teddy came out and absolutely blitzed it, and I was going to hold him. The fact that last week he came out with a 30, I'll be okay if he comes out and gets 80 because if Kennedy can go close to it, I think it'll even out once I get back to him, maybe.
Do you have a centre wing that has fullback eligibility? Yeah. Is there any thought of a Talakai or a...
Nah.
Who else has a nice run?
Nah.
No? Just all in on Kennedy. Sweet.
Yep.
No, I'm happy. Thought I'd talk through it.
I'm very happy about this. Other buy players, DWZ and CNK. What about them on the weekend? As someone who didn't own them... Actually, I know how you felt about this. You posted in the chat. You said to me, luckily not many people in the top 100 own.
No, I said, this doesn't hurt that much to watch because I assume not many people in the top 100 would have CNK. And then you go on.
I looked, and in the top 1%, 560 people, which was like, I think it was like 40%.
I was like, oh shit. Like,
I did not know that.
No, neither did I.
Do you
think they just held them the whole time, or do you think... So I sold him... round 5. Like, I don't know when I sold him, or do you reckon they bought him back the other week?
Yeah, most likely. I don't think you could have held him on for that long.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just, maybe it was just I don't know what his numbers were like around the buy. Maybe it was just a desperate buy play and they kind of...
Good purchase, though, in my opinion.
In the end, it was bloody brilliant,
he was a good purchase. Now, plays the Rabbitohs, and I think they play someone else very difficult in 19.
Para. And then the Sharks.
So pretty tough draw over the next couple of weeks. So I would hold on trading him in and DWZ, but just had to mention because, Jesus, they've done real well.
Brained it. I was kind of watched in admiration. I was like, how bloody good is this? Like, I just like seeing the Warriors do well.
It was good to see them. They're
Dallin is a bit of a low-key grub.
They're all performing so well.
Ridiculous,
SJ?
Crazy. I would have laughed at you when you brought him in, when like Timmy brought him in and stuff. crazy.
How good does it see? Like he's laughing on the sideline and
Just having fun.
He's having fun.
Playing halfback, just
There's
playing footy.
two cheapies that are on the horizon. And I don't know if, with the amount of trades a lot of us have, it's probably not the right time. But someone like myself, I got in Richard Kenner last week, who nice negative break even, scored 60.
With no attacking stats, really.
That's it. Sean Bloor, 395,000, negative 10 break even. Named to start at second row. What are your thoughts on him?
When you said it in the chat yesterday, and mind you, my kind of awareness around particularly mid-price players that are doing well, I don't seem to pay a whole lot of attention to it for some reason. So I often feed off you guys for that sort of stuff. Forgive me. When you said it, I was like, oh, that's a bit of a strange one. But then I had a bit of a better look. And those last 2 weeks, I quite like the look of.
Yeah.
No real attacking stats. That 90-odd he scored the other week, he had 10 points in tackle busts. Yeah, he had a couple of line breaks. But I actually don't mind it. I actually quite like it if he can manage to hold down that spot and you're in the market for someone around that. If that allows you to get, and you can speak about your plan in a sec, which I quite like, but if that allows you to get someone like a Fafita or a Tino or a Munster or whatever you need to do, I don't hate it because he'll be a flip in 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
To hopefully another one.
And the fact that he's already 400K, it's cheap enough, but it's also fat enough to move on to someone nice.
And I think the thing with me this year is everyone gets so obsessed with the cheapie, right? That bottom dollar guy that like a buller that makes 400, 500K. Whether you're making 150K off a bottom dollar guy or you're making 150K off a guy that's worth 400,000, it doesn't bloody matter as long as you're making that 150K and you can flip them then. It doesn't matter. So I think for you, this little orchestrated move, I don't like the Kennedy thing, but the orchestrated move of the Kenner to end Bloor, and you can speak about your plans with it later, but I quite like it.
Well, yeah. I guess while we're on the topic, the plan is get in someone like Bloor. Once he maxes out, Richard Kenner should max out at about
I like the
same time.
timing thing, where you've actually looked at it and gone, okay, these guys have both maxed out at the same time.
They'll max out very similar times. I'll be able to use them for the buys, and then you can make the choice. I've got Burbo in my side, which he named on the bench this week, so do I get rid of him?
Yeah.
I can flip Burbo down to the center wing and maybe get in, I don't like the idea of Nuffs.
Yeah, I think...
I don't like the idea
Neither
of
do I
Nuffs.
usually, but I think by the time that you're going to flip these guys, it'll be perfectly acceptable
and
to have
Nuff
enough.
is okay. I can flip Burbo to the center. I can leave him and get in a center. I can get in a 5'8".
That's what I'm saying. You can do whatever you want. I like it.
I can get whatever I want by nuffing and upgrading the other.
You'll have what, 800, 750? If they're both at 500,
yeah.
Or is that a bit greedy?
It might be a bit of a stretch, but it could happen.
Yeah.
It could happen, and if it does, it means they've performed well for me.
Yeah.
The spanner in the works here is Brendan Piacora coming on. 289,000, -3 break even. Looks like his job security is pretty good for the next few weeks. Played 80 minutes on the weekend for 48 points. The week before, he scored a try and got 51. Had 51 minutes the week before. 50 minutes for 15 in round 13, which is not very good, but he's someone with a bit less of a sample size, but 100K cheaper. If you had to choose between the two, which way are you going?
Assuming job security is the same, on the surface it kind of seems like Piacora is going to be a little bit better. Who's Bloor in for? Bateman's playing middle.
Well, Bateman's playing middle, so I think that's just the way they've decided to go. Because Pole,
on the
did an okay job.
Surface, I think I like Bloor better than Piacora.
So do
Plays
I.
19.
That's the clincher for me.
Yeah.
And by the time I sell him, at least I've used him for 19.
Yeah. I like him better. Those stats I kind of blurted out before, I like him.
But that being said, Piacora is someone that, say you do have Deadwood in your side, like a Murdoch Masila, Franklin Pele, or you have someone that you want to get rid of, like a Josh Schuster. Piakura is someone who is a great downgrade option.
Yeah, there's no risk in it really, is there?
No.
Like you'll have him for this week, you'll have him for 20 against the Dogs. Who knows what happens there? I think he's a bit of a kind of attacking weapon for them. Like
it's got good potential.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't think there's a harm in it. Like you're going to make money. The only thing is that it is going to cost you 2 trades. I'm trying to avoid stuff like that happening at the moment and trying to go from guys like my Taruvans and Peaches and have kind of topped out now, but to those kind of guns. There's going to become a stage in the next 2 or 3 weeks when I do decide to make a trade where I'm going to have to go someone like this, or hopefully someone like this pops up, or I might have to nuff or something like that. But there's no harm in it, and I quite like it. Job security, good.
I like it. All right, we've got some more questions absolutely piling on right now. So James Austin talking about sound again. Evan Burnett, do you think Peachy has one more game left in him, or is he a trade out?
I'm trading him out this week as one of my trade outs. I just don't see how he kind of gets a game. I don't think Ivan rests the outside backs again in round 20 based off kind of the last couple of years, assuming Crichton and To'o both kind of play. Play Origin, I mean. And I don't
know if Crichton
does. That's what I was about
play.
to say. I don't think there's a chance. I think there's a good chance Crichton doesn't play. And if that's the case, that's even more of a reason to not keep Peachy, because I think obviously if he plays for Penrith, Peachy's nowhere to be found. I think there's a chance he might play some game time off the bench maybe, but you're really going to keep a guy worth 530, whatever he's worth.
What's his break even like?
Low.
Good buy. It was a good buy, wasn't it?
And
he was a nice play this week.
He was a great play for me this week.
Doesn't pass the ball. Taruva, Jesus.
To be fair, I'm usually pretty critical of him. Actually, I'm very critical of him. I actually don't rate him that much, particularly out in the centres. I don't mind him as a bench option, but there was no real opportunity, I don't think. And I played Taruva over Lindsay Smith, but I don't think there was much of an opportunity for him. He's got a break even of 5. He's 556k. I don't think you can be keeping him unless you're almost guaranteed that he's going to start again.
And realistically, like his break even isn't negative 50.
Yeah.
I would get it if he was negative 50.
Doesn't play 19. Like.
Yeah. If he had a break even negative 50 and you didn't need to sell him, I'd just wait till he got on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's a nice sell this week.
Absolutely.
You can upgrade like 100k to go to Nikora.
Yeah, crazy. Or 110 to go to Munster.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Brett Sims says, is that Luke Patton?
Me?
Have you gotten that before?
Never.
No.
I've got a head of hair.
Maybe it's like the
somewhere.
long face.
Oh, thanks, mate. You call me a horse or something. Luke Patton, is he a good looking rooster? I've got to Google him now.
Brett Sims, I don't know. It's on YouTube, so it's quite... there's a lot. I've missed some questions. Ange, Kenna to Tafare to fund a gun. Who has the better security, Kenna or Tafare?
Yeah, I was going to say Kenna or Tafare. I think they've gone with Kenna as their option out there, haven't they?
He looks like he's won the spot.
Yeah, whereas Tafare, who knows what's going on with Brenko?
Yeah, Brenko is week.
Tafare.
Brenko is week to week, whereas Tafare's
Can he mean?
He is named, and Brenko's not on the extended, so you've got another week from Tafare. But I just think Kenna.
I like Kenna
in that.
He'll drag a couple of tries over the next 3 or 4 weeks. He seems to have won the spot and has a reasonable base.
Plays the Warriors this week, so I wouldn't play him this week. But he's running at Marcelo Montoya, who is known for letting in a few tries here and there.
And the Dolphins play Brisbane, Penrith in the next 3 weeks as well.
Yeah.
So
I like Kenner as a buyer. I would have liked for you to do it last week because he's made 60k already.
Yeah.
Stuart Wallace, really want to bring in Mulatalo this week as my 12th round 19 player, but need to free up cash to do so. With a dual front row, second row, what's the best option under 300k, 400k if they play 19? Is that ideal? Sean Bloor, yeah. Sean Bloor.
I haven't really looked, but something that just came to mind. Pasami Solo?
He's back in, yeah.
Parley's out. He did a hammy. I'm not sure how long it actually is. I just remember him doing a hammy live, so that's at least 3 or 4 weeks, I assume.
Solo, 315k, 35 break even.
Say that again, sorry?
Solo, 315k.
Yeah.
35 break even.
Okay. I don't love
It's
it.
pretty good.
I don't hate it. Yeah.
Is that a nice price? So I would...
And with the horse likely playing Origin now.
He's someone next week who I could see myself going Burbo to him.
Mm-hmm. So in his sample size of decent minutes, he's played 52 minutes in round 13, got 68. That was his like breakout, I guess you could call it. 40 minutes and he got 38. 38 minutes, he got 50. That's not too bad. I probably like Blore better.
80k difference. It just depends which way you want to go.
Yeah, he's dual as well, so
he's
nice run. Canberra.
I'd go to him instead of like say you needed someone cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
I'd choose him over Piacora if your numbers are low for 19. If they're not, I'd go Piacora. So
just for the upside, like the potential that he could.
Yeah, we're catering for everyone on this podcast.
I like it.
Mitch, thoughts on Richard Kenner job security? Yeah.
I think it's good. I think he's won the spot.
Fourth world, thoughts on Schuster to Billy Smith to AJ Brimson via Jewel?
Sorry.
Thoughts on Schuster or Billy Smith to AJ Brimson?
If I could sell Schuster, I would. Is that the question?
Yeah, Schuster or Billy Smith?
Yeah, Schuster.
I think Brimson's a bit of a trap.
I agree. Just
because
the question was just which one to sell, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I answered the question.
The thing with Brimson, though, could get named 18th man for Origin.
Yeah.
So you don't
could play if Walsh is.
That's it.
If Walsh
I think Walsh got let off potentially.
I thought that doesn't happen till tonight.
Oh, there you go. Billy Smith actually did all right on the weekend. 41 points. Okay. You'll take that. Who's the end game fullbacks? We talked about that in depth, so you can go back. Stuart Wallace, Gutho, or Edwards. Edwards is someone we didn't really touch on, but against the Melbourne Storm at home this week, I think I'd just
hold fire.
Yeah, hold fire on him.
He could be. I think he could be an option though.
For the back end, for sure. I think actually, he's a nice pod play for the back end because
I don't think he won't be a pod play, will he?
He will be, especially the likes of Teddy and Latrell are back. Mm-hmm. With all hands on deck for Penrith,
his numbers are just so consistent.
They're very good, aren't they? Geronimo Smith, sell Cody Nikorima as he's been benched. He's been good.
Good solid buy.
It's been a shame.
Made some cash.
There's a world where he comes in to start for Isaiah Katoa.
Yeah, he struggled. I know he played 9 at the start of last week, but he was battling there, wasn't he, for a while? Just Dane Gagai, it's plantar fascia injury. Should be back around 20.
This is a great point. Peter says this time last year, Katoa was the Sharks winger to get on. The Dragons are leaking tries on their left side. DWZ 4 tries, and before that they scored, I think it was 9 tries in 4 games on that right side. Now it's 13 tries in 5 games on that side. I think he's right.
Could be. Maybe that's your play, not Kennedy.
Piss off. I could do. See, Tyrell Sloan's been a real good hold for me. I nearly sold him 1 week and then
nearly sold him most weeks.
Yeah, but he's actually made some money again, and I think after next week, he's gone. He's gone for me.
Finally.
He'll have to be someone that I can't hold on to him for the rest of the year.
No way.
Oh, he's the kind of guy, though, that I'll end up needing to keep because of trades.
Yeah.
Alex Balgowan, cricketer, isn't he?
Who?
Alex Balgowan? No, the Balgowans play for Penrith.
No idea.
No? Ben Balgowan?
I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone right now, but I don't know.
You don't know any Penrith Balgowans?
My local cricket knowledge, my Sydney grade cricket knowledge, I wouldn't say is high.
Oh, it's not high. I thought it would be.
Sorry, Alex. My apologies.
Oh, I think it's Ben. I think Ben.
Sorry, Ben.
Ben is the cricketer. Is Cam Murray not an option anymore? Do we think he plays bigger minutes to come end of year? I've looked at him. He's 440k.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he's not going to be an option at any stage for the rest of the year. Give him till after Origin. Just wait and see what happens.
I'll tell you what I think. I think he's very injured.
I think he's on thin ice, you reckon?
Yeah. I think he needs a couple of weeks, like 2 weeks.
To be fair,
just to rest.
Hasn't had much. Oh, yeah, really.
And there's a question here. Thoughts on Xavier Wilson, cheapie, starting second row from the Broncos. He's named on the other edge.
Yeah.
But with Capewell, I think Capewell's going to come back.
He's not too far away, is he?
Yeah. But it's not a bad shout, I guess, but I think with him, he's a kind of nuff you can get that you can be like, okay, he's in 3 weeks, he's still playing. He's got a negative break even. You can trade him in, and he's a guy that will just drop out when Capewell comes back. And
he's nowhere to be found when they're full strength. He's not going to snag a bench spot somewhere.
No.
I suppose if he does play well as well, like there's nothing saying that it's definitely Pete Crew's spot.
Yeah, that's it.
There, like if they're, it's like the Garner Hosking situation at the start of the year. Like Garner started, but there was nothing to say that it was his spot. So yeah, there's a world where he could win, but I assume they're a similar price. So I assume the Pete Crew is probably the safer one at the price.
All right, Hads, what are your trades this week?
Trading at the moment, I've gone my 2 beloved Panthers who have both done really well for me, Tyrone Peachy and Taruva, to Haas and Mulatalo. So I know a few guys have kind of said to me, I know Taruva can be like one of the other options for centre wing back end of the year. I'm so stacked there at the moment that like I just don't really need him. I've got, and you might laugh at how many I've got. It's kind of ridiculous now. I've got Sarko, Talakai, Johnston, Gagai, Marju, Mulatalo, Garrick, who's in my fullback at the moment. That's 7 guys who are all, and Joey Manu's in my 5'8". So I don't need to hold Taruva. There's no reason for me to hold Taruva. He's gone up. He's gone to Mulatalo, and that should be fine for my centre wings just about the rest of the year.
I don't mind it. Like, I think on the surface it just sounds ridiculous, but this is the first week in a long time I've been full strength. Yeah. This is the first time in a long time I've been full strength, which is a lot of people, and Taruva's out of my 17.
Mm-hmm.
Playing Melbourne, I think if it was an easier matchup, I would look at playing him.
Yeah, he was a handy play those last few weeks where I needed that last guy, so I didn't have to play a Sean Kepi or something. But
you know what I could do? Instead of selling Tedesco to Kennedy, Taruva to Katoa, and that banks 100K.
Just saying. And you liked Teddy this week as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I do like him. But I love Kennedy. Like, I'm so excited to watch Kennedy go out this Thursday night.
I cannot wait for your Thursday evening voice messages while you're driving somewhere.
Oh, maybe I should get to Katoa.
Yeah, what do you reckon, boys? Should I get Katoa? Now's the time. 15 tries, 9 games, however many games it was. I don't know, boys.
How good are the Thursday Arvo? Thursday Arvo.
My missus is like, who are you fucking talking to? I'm like, oh, just voice messages to a group chat. Don't worry, doll. I don't mind that play. Taruva's been so handy. So many people sold him at like 350. Now he's like 500.
He's 500.
He's hardly, to be honest, I still think there's a chance that he ends up at like 650. Like if he goes on a try scoring streak of like 3 weeks where he gets 3 doubles with line breaks, like he hasn't done that all year. But I'm selling anyway.
Fuck. Katoa has scores of 8 and 44 in the last 2 weeks. Break even of 100, 450K. And it actually is 100K profit by doing Taruva to Sione Katoa. And that right edge against, how many people have traded him in this week? 102 people have traded in Sione Katoa. I thought that would be way more. 102 people.
It's a bit more now because you've just told everyone.
Okay, so 102 at 5:17 on Tuesday. I've taken a screenshot. Let's have a look at it like tomorrow midday.
Yeah.
After everyone's had the chance to listen to it in the morning, and see if that number rises, because the right side, Sione Katoa against the Dragons.
Who's the Dragons left? Is that Ravalawa's side? Or is that the other side?
No, that's Fiane and Sully. So I don't know if it's the actual winger. It just could be just the communication between everyone and just creating an overlap. Nikora, yep.
Ramian, do you say Ramian, do you? You had him on
Nah,
point?
I never had Ramian. No. But Ramian is the right centre. Rocco Berry didn't score that well. It's just a winger. Hines to Katoa.
feel like there's a reason. Like, Katoa hasn't scored that many tries this year, though. There's got to be a reason.
Ramian's a very similar price. And his last outing against St. George was 120 points in round 4.
I feel like, and this is me having a bit of a guess, but I feel like Hines, maybe his winger just isn't a thing.
You don't reckon?
That's just me spitballing. But, like, I feel like Dallin has consistently scored tries all year kind of thing and, like, really blown up this last little, like, against the Dragons. Who else did you say scored heaps of tries against the Dragons?
That was it, wasn't it? The right
Didn't
side?
you say, like... Oh, you just said right side.
No, it was like 9 tries in 3 weeks.
Yeah, okay. Maybe it's just SJ and Dallin. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I feel like Hines has more of a hand in a short ball to Nakora or...
So the Dragons, the last few weeks, have played the Warriors. They played Souths, who historically aren't the right side heaps. Penrith in round 14. So
that was our we lost that game. No, we didn't. We just won that game.
That was Cogger. That was Cogger.
Yeah.
No, but remember Cleary's try assist in the first 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Like, that was just that.
That was literally just, here you go, mate. Like,
that was a planned play.
Go score a try.
That was a planned play for sure. Any news on Eliesa Katoa?
I haven't heard anything.
We're not going to have time to go through the team list, but I guess just as a whole, Gago's out.
Mm-hmm. Should be back 20, though, not a sell, not a buy.
And we've kind of touched on what has and hasn't happened. There's a lot of other Supercoach shows that go in-depth team list to team list, but...
Katoa's not in the reserves either.
Interesting. That's awkward.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you've held this long... Nelson on the edge, I like.
Mm-hmm. I saw a couple of people in the chat who brought him in, brought Nelson in last week.
I like it. I like Scott Sorensen as a buy too.
Still? He's busy now, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's just in everything. I love him.
I think he's someone I will target post round 19.
Yeah, okay.
So what's he at now? 689. He has 111 break even. That's Timmy's magic number. Maybe it's the week to get him in.
Timmy, I'm sure you'll be listening. Jump on.
And he scored quite... And they play the Bulldogs in round 21, so realistically you can get Scott Sorensen for $650K, maybe, in round 21 against the Bulldogs. I think I'm going to do it.
Go on. Enjoy. I might be with you. I'm not going to say yes or no. I'm just letting you stew on your Katoa situation over there.
I like it. Where else are we? Trade? You said your trades?
Said my trades, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm doing Tedesco to Kennedy.
Sure.
And I'm also doing Eisenhuth to Blore.
I like it.
I can do Burbo to Blore instead of Eisenhuth, but...
I haven't really paid much attention to Eisenhuth, to be honest. I'd probably go...
No, he's not named. He's not playing.
Okay. Is Burbo going to leak cash?
He's 240K coming off the bench, so hopefully he can jack. He's going to be an AA nightmare for a bit, but I'm hoping at some point.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm hoping at some point he comes on and scores some points.
Yeah.
But that being said, we are giving away this ball. I don't know how we're going to do that.
I don't know. No idea.
Okay. Comment in the description. So, what player are you most excited to see play this week?
And why? In 25 words or less.
No. What player are you most excited? Yeah.
Me personally.
Yeah.
I am most excited. I thought that's what you wanted them to comment.
No.
Right.
That's too much.
I'm excited. What's a tough one?
Like for me, it's going to be Will Kennedy.
Yeah. I'm going to go... I don't want to be boring. Greg Marju, I like it. Greg Marju. I was at the game the other night and did not notice him one bit. Not once. Except at the start when they were walking off past where I was sitting, I was like, who's that big front row? Oh my Christ, that's Greg Marju. He is huge. But then I looked at his score and I was like, hang on, he just scored 7.
Wait. What did you expect him to be on when you're opening that up?
At half time, let's say full time, like obviously reception's pretty bad at Penrith Stadium.
It's bad.
And I was expecting him to be on like 35, 40 maybe, like if I'm lucky. Like for me, like we kicked to him most of the night, I reckon, so he didn't have many big plays out of his own. Like I was like, if he gets 40, I'll be laughing. He got 70. ridiculous. I'm just hoping that he can maybe bag a few tries against the Dogs this week.
Okay, we'll give 2 chances. So someone can win this ball.
That's a hat. Yeah.
And someone can win this hat. What you have to do, guess Will Kennedy's score for post updates, and guess Greg Marju's score for the ball post updates.
Like it.
That gives you 2 chances.
Can I have a guess? My guess is 142
to
for Greg
Marju.
Marju.
Okay, 142 for Marju. I'm gonna go.
Is that a bit excessive?
No, it's good. He's got the ceiling, so
Absolutely.
I've got 92 for Kennedy.
92.
Like you expect if I trade him in,
No, that's fine.
like I expect more, but I'm trying to be realistic.
142
here.
might be a bit much. I've just looked at
Who are they playing?
the Dogs.
The Dogs.
And so, like, actually, let's go there because they might just go through the middle.
He's running at Karaz. Karaz is pretty good.
Let's just let's just taper that back a bit. Let's go 128.
128. I like it. Because
Final, lock it in, Eddie.
didn't he score 138 with a hat trick?
Yeah, that's
13?
what I just looked at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Captains.
Captains.
See this?
Yeah, I like this. I like this segment today.
It's a weird one.
No, it's not.
No,
It's pretty simple.
I know, but I really like to have a bit of a safety net, like a bit of a VC early in the round. But Nico playing first game against the Dragons. Can you do something different, or is everyone just going to be obliged to do that?
We've got a comment here. Fourth World, Marzu 123, Kennedy 86, Kennedy 111, Marzu 111.
There we go. Is Timmy watching? Or?
Ange, I hope that happens. I'll give you both of these and a SuperCoach stubby cooler if that happens. So you'll get an extra prize. Actually, if you get both of them right, I will chuck in something extra.
Yeah, I'm sure I can find something laying around at home
Yeah.
for you.
But yeah, I'm going Hines.
Straight C?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I probably will too. It makes me sad because I think there's a few nice, close options. Like, take Hines out of the equation. It would have been a really nice interesting week with Marju. I know Garrick was. I know the Manly have been piss poor. But I think he could be a bit of an option. He could have been a bit of an option. Mulatalo could have been a nice VC if they played. I suppose if Hines is playing, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I just think there's a couple of nice little matchups. I don't hate Cody Walker against the Warriors. Manu.
Yeah, Manu.
Manu scares me because he had 2 touches in the first 35 minutes. But against Manly, is he on Schuster's side? Yes.
No. Yes.
I don't know. That's just...
You just can't do it at centre.
No, I know. But I'm saying could have been potentially an interesting week. But I expect most people to go Hines straight captain.
Yeah. And I think the fact that everyone is full strength this week, don't rely on that safety net because there are going to be some auto emergencies in your side that you don't want.
Yeah.
Like Murdoch Masilla is named
Starting.
to start, which is nice. He's been scoring okay.
Yeah. Kepi for me though out, which I quite like. He can sit there. He's 400k now, so I can sell him soon.
On a week like this, you want to play your top 17. You don't want to cop another score.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Whereas most other weeks in the previous weeks, we've been quite under strength. This week, you've got to be ballsy. Yeah. Make your decision. And Hines is in for me. I usually like to be cute and just try and go a pod route, but I just don't think it's the week to do it. Although, St. George... They've been beaten up in the media a lot.
But I think they had their... Yeah, no. I still...
No.
At Shark Park as well, isn't it?
All right, guys. Comment your guesses, and then at the end of the week, we'll go through the comments, and we will pick a winner.
Beauty.
Oh, we won't pick a winner. The winner
there
will be
a winner.
And if there is multiple that say the same, then they'll go in a hat.
Okay, cool.
Or say there's 2 the same for one player and no one gets the other player, then we'll just split it between you two.
I'm sure we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Grown-ups.
All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Hads, for coming on.
Pleasure, as always.
Cricket season starts soon, doesn't it?
Not really, to be honest. Still a few
pre-season?
months away.
No?
Pre-season started.
Oh, it started?
Yeah.
Cool.
Not much going on, really.
Yeah, nice.
Same old.
Nice.
Cool.
Cool.
See you soon.
See you soon. Oh, fuck. I've got to go over there and press pause.